Good evening, everybody. This is the Pocket Jacks Comics Writers Stream. We have myself, the illustrious John Lamont. John, has the cash from Spirit of the Dragon 4 hit your checking account yet?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you paid off your car? And
No.
No,
I'm still $10,000 in debt.
Okay.
And the interest rate on my
You're
car.
live. Don't tell people that.
The interest rate on my
Anyway.
car is lower than the interest rate on my line of credit with my credit union.
Oh, okay,
So
got it.
there's it doesn't make financial sense to pay off my car when I still owe my credit union $10,000 at 9.5% interest.
Creators learn how to math. This
yes.
is a lesson.
But after the next Angel of Darkness campaign, then you're.
I expect. Yes,
Yeah.
I expect that after Angel of Darkness 5.
Right.
Because I expected to clear 1,500 for the first freaking time. Thank God.
Yeah.
I don't know why my previous ones seem to, but as I said, so as I was mentioning before,
I think you mean 15,000.
Yes, 15,000.
Yeah.
I've got the trade that I'll be releasing with issue 5. I have the remastered issue 1 that I'll be re-releasing with my issue 1 Garvey print that has been sold out for like over a year.
Mm-hmm.
That was a limited edition of the original first printing. This will be a reprint in virgin hollow foil because I want to at least make it special. And
you gotta do that, right?
So it's gonna have and Angel of Darkness 1 was the first Kickstarter that I did.
Yeah.
And doing virgin covers was not even something I even thought of at the time. So my Garvey cover for issue 1 has trade dress on it. So this will be a virgin hollow foil for the remaster, and that'll be a limited edition 100. So plus I have Garvey doing an issue 5 cover.
There you go.
Naughty and nice.
Yeah.
So
and isn't it going to be a wrap cover?
No, that's Spirit of the Dragon 5.
Spirit of the Dragon 5. Okay. Wow. You've doubled up on Mr. Garvey. I see.
Well, it took me all of last year to get.
I know he just became available again.
And then earlier this year, I emailed him for Spirit of the Dragon 5, expecting it to take him 9 months to get that cover.
Right.
And he delivered it. So, huzzah!
There you go.
But yes, issue 5, Spirit of the Dragon. I've got some big things planned, but yeah, that'll be cool.
Okay.
I had to pay Garvey. So I joke that when I'm at conventions that when you buy a naughty print, you have to pay an extra $5, and I jokingly call it my titty fee.
Yeah.
Well, Garvey charged me an extra $50.
Yeah.
Because I asked him to do something on this cover that's unusual.
Oh,
so
there you go.
What clothes?
No, I'm getting.
I want the boobs small this time. No, all right. What?
No, I'm getting full frontal.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something he does very often, so I was like,
there you go.
I'm like, so I'm hoping,
Yeah.
I want to give it's issue 5. It's the end of the series. It's like I want to go out with a bang and give people something special and something they're gonna like.
So. We have very different definitions of give people something special.
Oh, hey, I just got an email from John Lamont. Awesome. All right.
So which of your domain receives emails the slowest?
I think Gmail is the fastest. Go hit Gmail first. All right. So tell us about Harpies, John. This is your script, Harpies.
So this is going to be the second half of issue 3.
Okay.
Some of it'll be familiar from 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
Because basically what I did was 3 weeks ago, I presented 7 or 8 pages.
Okay.
Which is like a spit draft of issue 3. I took those 8 pages and I rewrote it into 12 pages.
Okay.
And I represented the first 6 pages last time, and this is the representation of what's going to be 7 through 12, which is the last half. So we pick up on the ship, and then this will bring us to the end of issue 3, which, because I'm planning to do Harpies as a 7-issue run
instead
of 5, because I felt like 5 just was there's some things that I want to do with this story arc, and I just didn't feel like I could do it in 5.
Okay.
So my plan is to do it in 3, which will
All
be
right.
re-released in 2 volumes.
So,
So
if this were how many total pages do you think the trade paperback is going to be? Because White Lilies, if you take out the White Lily covers, the cover gallery, it's probably around like 140. I want to guess.
So okay, so Angel of Darkness is 134. Spear of the Dragon I haven't added up yet, but that's going to be like close to 130 to 150.
Mm-hmm.
Harpies is going to be released in 2 trades.
Okay. All right.
Volume 1 is going to be issues 1 through 3, which I imagine is going to be around 100 pages.
Okay.
And then volume 2 is
not
going to be
3 times
issues
24.
So what now?
So you're going to make these issues like 30 pages long, or 30 plus.
Let's see.
Because if you're going to take 3 issues and make a 100-page trade paperback, then that would mean each issue.
So issue 1 is currently 26 pages.
Okay.
Issue 2 is 24, but I'm actually going to be rewriting the very end of issue 2 based on some of the feedback of how issue 3 runs. So I imagine issue 2 is going to probably be 24 to 28.
Right.
And issue 3 will probably be around 24 to 28.
Okay.
So 30.
So
we'll
that's not gonna hit 100.
70.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Fine, whatever.
So,
it'll be between 70 to 80 pages.
Okay, but
the point is, volume 1 is going to be issues 1 through 3, and
Yeah.
then volume 2 I'm planning 4 through 7, unless I decide when I get around to like issue 6 that it's going to be more than 7 issues. But I think 7 issues will be
Okay.
enough to tell the story that I want to tell.
All right. So, all right. To tell us more about the story of Harpies. Why do you think it's gonna? What about this story says I'm gonna need more space?
So I came up with some ideas for So about between production of issue 3 and 4 of Angel of Darkness, I came up with a better story concept for Angel of Darkness.
Okay, so this is the Angel of Darkness rewrite.
In a sense, it's an
Okay.
Angel of Darkness retcon / sequel / I want to experiment with this new story idea.
Okay.
And kind of like you were saying in your video that you posted, a lot of this is screenplay stuff.
Yeah.
If the Jezidro story arc in Harpies works, then what I will end up doing is I'll be incorporating basically the matriarch story arc in Harpies.
Okay.
Is what I feel personally would have made Angel of Darkness a better story. So I'm experimenting with those story concepts here, and then if I feel that they work, the Angel of Darkness quote unquote screenplay rewrite will incorporate those story elements into an Angel of Darkness rewrite story. I feel like if making Nikki a character who is an acolyte, who has kind of a traumatic background, who kind of has some of the same inklings that the matriarch has, but then her story is how she kind of grows out of that and eventually turns away from that, I think will make her a stronger and better character. And I think not having the matriarch character in Angel of Darkness kind of put all of the focus on her.
Okay.
So that's where I kind of feel like it might actually help fix some of the quote unquote issues.
All right.
So that's kind of what I'm experimenting with. And that's why, because again, I still want to do the whole, I'm still doing the Nazi super weapon subplot that I set up in Spirit of the Dragon, which was supposed to be the main focus of this story. But because I want to spend some time dealing with the matriarch subplot, that's why I feel like rather than doing 5 issues, I think I want to spend some extra time working on that. So
it's kind of veer off over to Femdom Island.
Yes, there's going to
Yeah.
be quite a bit of. They're not an island; they're in an African oasis, but same
Right.
basic concept.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
a little bit of palace influence, maybe. I don't know.
It's Femdon Island, except
Right.
they're basically a big lesbian nudist cult
Sure. I mean, why not?
because
Right.
it's John Lamont's
Obviously.
script, so
Yeah.
of course, so
Right.
there are a bunch of women that just hang out all by themselves and they do magic shit. So
Yeah.
who needs clothing?
All right. Who wants to narrow? Oh, did you have a comment?
I mean, two of them really. So one is story-wise.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do a retcon of Angel of Darkness, but it's already out. Why are you going back to it instead of working on a new project or a new idea or taking your lessons to something else? That's the first question.
Well, I'm assuming this represents some fundamental story differences that if someone read both of them, they wouldn't go, this feels amazingly similar.
I am experimenting with the story ideas here
Okay.
so that if the opportunity comes to where I am pitching or selling this story idea as a screenplay,
Mm-hmm.
the Angel of Darkness screenplay will not be the Angel of Darkness trade paperback that I'm currently selling. It will be a rewrite that incorporates elements from Angel of Darkness and elements of the matriarch subplot from Harpies.
Okay.
Okay,
Got it.
that makes
All right.
sense.
So they're two distinct stories that should be blended together for the screenplay
If that ever happens.
version. Of course. I mean, obviously.
Right. And that way it's not entirely a brand new thing. It's not like I'm rewriting my story and I'm just redoing it all brand new. I'm basically taking those particular story elements. But it's not going to read like a retcon. Like when we read the matriarch story arc here, it's not going to be. So one of the ideas that I'm going to probably do is I'm going to do away with the whole train concept from Angel of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than being on a train, it's all going to take place in the town. So
Okay.
they'll be in the town. The matriarch will be like a resident of the town. She will be on her anti-British colonial kick and anti-British genocide, anti-British, her genocidal tendencies.
So hot right now.
There.
Yeah.
She will be the primary antagonist, which was again one of those weaknesses I feel like from Angel of Darkness was the Shadow. The Shadow was the primary antagonist, and I don't feel like that was a very strong antagonist.
No. Well, that's because you didn't spend any time developing him.
I was developing him. I know. It was something,
and he has no lines.
Yeah.
Roar. That was.
I think I changed his line to Doom.
So that's what
I have that effect in my file.
Yeah.
So basically, the Shadow will be replaced with the matriarch.
Right.
The train will basically be done away with, and everything will take place in town. So it'll be still a confined area for the horror elements to work. But having an actual flesh and blood villain character who has a whole coven that basically works there, that then our main character is now actually has to deal with, do I want to stay with my coven, or do I want to join the light side? So that's where I feel like she will make a better villain for Angel of Darkness, and that's going to be one of the major changes that I make. So I'm hoping
you're in love with this story. You really want to see it as a screenplay. This is why you're doing it. Cool. And then the other question is, have you read your scripts? If you cut away a bunch of like no copy action things and like put dialogue in them, then you could easily do this in like 5.5 to 6 issues.
Yes, well,
Yeah,
I like visual storytelling.
All right.
All right.
There we go. Who wishes to narrate?
Preston, you can narrate.
All right.
All right, so
exterior. HMS Duke of Cambridge North Sea Day. The HMS Duke of Cambridge, a massive Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier, cuts through the center of the North Sea, surrounded by 3 country-class battle cruisers. Artist note, use HMS Prince of Wales. Caption, HMS Duke of Cambridge, headquarters of MI6 Special Division Harpies. Exterior, HMS Duke of Cambridge deck day. Erin stands on the deck of the ship as Hodge walks up beside her.
Danny, you can do Erin, and I'll do Raj. I reported the necromancer's demands to my chain of command.
From your tone,
the sun never sets on the British Empire, thus was King George's reply.
One pissed off novice witch fucks up a spell and close to 1,000 people are killed. Imagine what a dozen adept witches can do when they're actually trying.
Interior, HMS Duke of Cambridge showers day. Long Fu leans over, poking Jeju's scar on her stomach where Ryan's arrow pierced her.
Wow, you heal pretty fast.
I can control and manipulate life force energy.
I got shot once, but I don't have any scars.
Long Fu spins around, showing her bare back.
See? Good as new.
Is that how you became the Avatar?
I guess. Erin says the trauma cursed me to have a near-death experience, but I came back with superpowers, so who knows?
What was it like, meeting the gods?
Like a warm blanket on a chilly afternoon.
Gripping. There we go. All right. Interior, HMS Duke of Cambridge briefing room day. Erin and Raj enter the briefing room where Neko draws a diagram of a lead crystal structure containing a Hecate shard nucleus. On the table besides Neko are 6 crystal cylinders, each containing a glowing Hecate shard nucleus.
Lieutenant Rice, Erin, come.
Hey, Erwin. Welcome.
Erwin, if you're there, you want to read for Raj? He's got a couple more lines. Oops. And then he can leave.
Oh well. I hopefully he'll be back soon.
Yeah. Raj?
Yeah, you can read for Raj. I got Danny reading for Erin, and I'll read for Technico.
Raj, let's see. It's at the bottom of the page here.
Yep, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
Let's start here.
That's lead crystal.
Did I spell lead wrong?
Yes, you did.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. Okay.
Yeah, that's lead crystal.
You're right.
Those are homonyms, so
Yeah.
That was sort of a joke, but you actually spelled the word correctly.
You made me think I spelled it wrong, and I'm just like, well, how the hell is it spelled lead if I spelled it wrong?
You actually spelled it totally correctly.
Yeah.
That was me poking fun slightly inappropriately, but it wasn't a bad pun. It was definitely a pun, though.
Okay.
I apologize.
Technico.
Yes, the structure of the crystal allows for the proper dispersion of the radiation from the Hecate stone, thus reducing the detrimental effects of the radiation and providing a longer-lasting power source.
Raj picks up one of the crystal shards.
Are these the Hecate fusion cores we retrieved from Elmex in Egypt?
Yes, but we're going to need our own source of Hecate stones if we are going to match the Liebstandarte's arsenal. We can't rely on taking their systems intact.
We'll also
normally one word, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll also need
taking them tactfully.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We'll also need a surplus of lead crystals.
I imagine it's quite plentiful based on what I saw in your commissary, which surprises me. You Terrans would use them for dinnerware, considering the negative health implications.
Exterior, Torbrook Airfield. 2 soldiers carrying Orion into this clinic on a stretcher as Mueller walks a few steps behind.
That Negro witch, she cast some kind of spell.
Rest, Orion. The doctor will get you fixed up good as new.
Interior, Torbrook Medical Clinic day. The doctor's face lights up seeing Orion again.
Erwin, you could be our creepy, rapey doctor.
Hello, my dear.
There you go.
You're Orion, John.
Oh, that's right, because you didn't want to use my N-word. Even though there's
No,
something wrong
no.
with the
I might have mislettering it too.
I am not your dear.
The doctor pulls the sheets off her body, lustfully eyeing her wounds, and
Her wounds.
those are really hot, hot wounds you got,
Wow,
and shredded
all right.
clothes barely covering her.
I didn't know there was a fetish that John didn't have, but that was unexpected.
Orion grabs the doctor by the neck, turning his head.
Eyes up here, buddy.
Orion, let the man work.
The doctor smiles a crooked smile. Orion releases him. Mueller exits the clinic. The doctor runs his hand across Orion's breast, down her stomach.
Let's see if you have any broken bones.
Orion grabs his crotch, squeezing, causing the doctor to tense up.
Give me the shot or lose your manhood.
The doctor throws his arms up, and Orion releases him. As the doctor walks to his lab of chemicals and prepares a large needle, Orion sits up, wincing in pain. I would worry about physically threatening somebody to inject shit in me, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it's fine, right? But the doctor returns with the needle, smiles greedily.
I will need you to bend over.
Orion arches a brow, unconvinced.
If I don't treat you properly, Herr Müller will.
Orion stands, turns, and bends over the table. The doctor kneels down, running his hand down her bare butt before pressing the needle into her butt cheek. After removing the needle, he stands up, locked on her perfect ass. Orion stands, stretching her back, bones cracking as they realign, wounds healing in seconds, leaving minimal scarring. Orion turns, kicking the doctor in the groin, dropping him to his... Boy, shoots. Yeah. All right. Anyway. Dropping him to his knees.
Next time, you'll do that blindfolded, or I'll gouge your eyes out.
Did you say the line already?
He said
I said
gouge your
my
eyes.
line, yeah.
I do as Herr Müller tells me, not you.
Orion exits, grabbing a square lab coat off a hook by the door. Picking himself up, the doctor grabs the shreds of clothes that were Orion's panties, rubbing his scarred ear where Orion bit him in issue 1. He takes a long sniff. All right. Interior HMS Duke of Cambridge briefing room day. Longfu enters, sipping a large milkshake as Aaron and Neko continue developing their technical drawings on the blackboard.
I would suggest searching for a larger Hecate stone, then attempting to link them together. Erwin, why don't you do Longfu?
You two still going at it?
Yes, we just need to find the remains of a million-year-old meteor, and we'll be in business.
Oh, that's small.
When it struck your planet in the south of America, it was quite large, but pieces were scattered all over the globe. These pieces we must find.
But the 6 Hecate fusion cores should give us a head start.
6?
Aaron turns.
Yes, 6.
She cuts herself short, finding only 5. Sitting on the table, her expression gets serious. Longfu takes a sip of her milkshake. Exterior desert oasis night. Jezidro, riding a zombie zebra, arrives at the desert oasis where the rest of the sisters of Endor sit. I worry about your cop. Anyway, sit around the fire.
Jezidro has returned.
They gather around her, but Zola pushes her way to the front of the group. Zola and Jezidro enter a loving embrace with a longing kiss.
How was your excursion north, dearest sister?
Jezidro extends her hand.
Muhamwe.
A hole in time and space opens at the end of her hand, and reaching into the pocket, Jezidro retrieves the missing Hecate fusion core. The sisters all get elated, staring at the green glowing crystal in awe. The matriarch steps forward.
Danny, you want to do the matriarch?
My dearest daughter.
Jezidro steps forward, presenting the Katake fusion core to the matriarch. As the other witch accepts it, she basks in its glow. She turns to her acolytes, raising it upward.
The power emanating from this stone shall fuel our magics like none other. When we have laid waste to the British Isles, no colonizer will dare tread upon this land.
All right. To be continued. So, Erwin, what did you like about it? Up.
The scene at the doctor's office was fun.
Yes.
Yes. Always good to have some sort of conflict like that. Sort of kind of funny. These pages, there is a lot of talking in these pages. I think the scene with the doctor had the most sort of action, so to speak. There's a lot of like sort of like, how do we do this? You know, that sort of thing, which is pretty common in any comic book, typically, any sort of adventure oriented comic book. So that's kind of my comments.
Okay. Well, I mean, it delivers it delivers plenty of opportunities for scantily clad females. So mission accomplished.
I find that's what my backers want.
Yeah.
So I intend to deliver.
Accomplished on that one. And you know, it intermixed with some exposition dumps, so it was like boobs in exposition, and there's a Hecate stone missing, and Jezidro has it. Dun dun dun. All right, Danny.
Yeah, the exposition was fine. Stuff happened. Like, it didn't leave that much of an impression. It was like a scene and some plot coupons. They already have all the plot coupons, but that's a credit.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, there is an evil scheme, but there's without a cackling witch. So I don't know if you delivered that one properly. You have witches; they should cackle. That's how that works, right?
There you go.
I thought the old boil-faced witches cackle.
I mean,
these
it's
are
a
all
witch.
like hot, young, gorgeous witches.
They should still cackle.
I mean, sure, yeah, of course. I mean, witches cackle, right?
Okay, they cackle. I'm not sure what they're going to be accomplishing in their cackling, unless it's just. I mean, it's not for intimidation because there's nobody else around for them to intimidate with their cackling.
You probably got a point.
I mean, are these like Wiccan nature druids?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so I don't know if they should cackle or not. I mean, or maybe you know what I find is missing. I guess we're going constructives now. Like, there's no mention of like Maid Mother Crone or anything like that. You know,
who?
So the three stages of femininity, maiden, mother, and crone, which are like classic Wiccan archetypes.
Oh,
and a common trope in witch literature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, as far as constructives go, when did we see our heroes collect all of the plot coupons? Because I'm pretty sure we saw them collect none of the plot coupons, and now they have 5 out of 6 of the plot coupons.
Oh, that's what you mean by plot coupons.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the previous pages, Jezidro
they beat all of the Elmex, right?
Right. She nuked all of the pilots' bodies, leaving the Elmex there. So do you want those
6 Elmex? Each had a core.
Yes.
And so these are the 6 cores from the
That
6 mechs that they
which
just
is
beat
what she said. We can't
in the prior fight.
rely on collecting them from them, so we need our own source. So, I mean, I can make that more clear, or do you want a page
they got
where we
nuked,
actually
there was
see
no
her
scene when
removing
anyone was
them?
collecting them.
I'm sorry, say what now?
The mechs got nuked. There was no scene of anyone collecting them. No one was like, "Oops, we nuked the mechs. Now we have to go collect them through this radioactive
She
wasteland."
nuked the pilots
who were riding the mechs.
Okay, let me rephrase term nuked. She cast a spell that called their bodies to explode. It didn't affect the mechs. Their bodies went into bloody paste. So there were 6 L-mechs covered in bloody paste with 6 fusion cores. And Raj said in these pages, are these the Hecate fusion cores you recovered from the L-mechs in Egypt? That is literally 2 pages ago.
Why can't we just have a disassembled mech in the background that they have gotten a fusion core from, and we know they have these things, they've collected them?
Because I don't have an editor to give me these kinds of ideas to say, hey, have them draw an L-mech disassembled in the background.
Good thing you're getting notes for free today.
There you go.
Because now, instead of them being in a briefing room, I'm just going to put them in a garage. Because that's
you
a
can
great
have a
idea.
blackboard in a garage. It's fine. It's like a superhero tech garage. That's fine.
I mean,
no one's got a problem with that. Importantly,
their base is in an aircraft carrier. They're going to have places to have that kind of stuff to be.
Also, why do there have to be so many plot coupons? Like, does that number mean anything for what you're planning?
Not really. Not at the current time.
So can't you just say there's only one plot coupon that was recoverable, and then Jezredrow can steal it, and then they have a reason to go after her instead of just being like, "Oh, fuck it, we've got 5 of them, let's go."
Okay, that depends on if
it's a lot more efficient.
Okay, I'll have to. I haven't decided what issue 4 is going to be yet, so they were going to need you be using at least one of the plot coupons to like power something or something. So that's why she was taking one of them, and
okay, so.
But I mean, I could do a whole thing where they go after her. But
the main structure was we need a plot coupon. We have to go to a place full of danger to get it. And, so like, oh, we're going to need 5 plot coupons to finally destroy this evil threat. And to do this, we can only find 3 above ground. Then we have to go to this hollow earth or whatever the hell you're going to do. That was basically the structure that you explained. That structure makes sense. So the plot coupon is the premise for which the heroes go to a place, right? And their mission. So the more of them that you have, like, on hand, like, the more questions the reader is likely to ask. Like, if you make them really scarce, then, like, it's like, and, this is like a Dragon Ball thing, too. And fine, it was used to needlessly extend plots in Dragon Ball. But, like, one of the things it does is like, oh, we have all the Dragon Balls. Oops, someone took one of the Dragon Balls. Now we can't cast a wish, and we have to go fight a guy. So, like, that's a plot structure. Right? Like, we need these things. They're really limited in number. The more limited number they are, right, the more conflict it's going to create when more people want it. And the more you can explain stuff with, like, no, we need more of these than we have, and we don't have very much, so let's go do that. Because you're in a world that looks suspiciously like the real world right now. And so, like, the more you deviate from it for weird reasons, like, the more trouble it's going to cause. Like, this isn't a world where you can just be like, well, because I made it up. Is like, because I made it up is not the best answer all the time when you're in a facsimile of the real world, right? Like, you don't need a magical airplane. They have normal airplanes. The British had pretty good airplanes, or boats or whatever. They're known for their navies, in fact, the British. Trains even, known for that for like a good century and a quarter. They don't need magic, but they can use these real technological devices to go to places where they can get magic. So, I mean, yeah, like because our heroes go from having 0 plot coupons to 6 of them very quickly, which seems like a lot. I don't know. So that was my
Erwin, you got any ideas on how it could be made better? Erwin?
Hey, I've been driving. What did you say?
Oh, okay. Did you have any ideas on how John could improve the story?
Just make the parts. I think I'm not sure what plot coupon means, but make the parts where like you have to like do explaining and figuring out the plan and stuff like that. Make that stuff more interesting.
Okay.
I mean, in a lot of, I guess, comics, I suppose there's some sort of other action going on. I don't know, the danger room. I don't know whatever it is. So,
okay.
But yeah, that's it. I got to get back to driving.
Fair enough.
Yeah, don't
That's
very dangerous. Drive safely.
Yeah, don't worry. All right. Well, there you go, John. For whatever it's worth, we got some constructives. We got certainly people liked your story and are encouraged in the direction it's going. I think. Yeah.
Was the phrase plot coupon particularly complicated?
I mean,
I didn't know what you mean until it took me a minute to figure out you meant the fusion cores.
Yes. It's like a coupon. You redeem it for some plot.
There you go. So it's like a MacGuffin kind of thing.
It is a MacGuffin. And maybe I think Danny might be right. I might have too many MacGuffins,
right?
Which reduces the value of the MacGuffin.
A MacGuffin is a situation with exactly one plot coupon. That is continually being reused.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a collect 5 sort of thing.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
Thus,
I mean,
MacGuffin,
one thing I would say, honestly, you could build us a bit of the world, because right now, essentially, the Hecate stones are just battery cells for stuff. And they had 6 batteries. Oh, but Jezidru stole 1, and now they only have 5. But if we're looking at things as say Jezidru must, which is she probably doesn't look at the Hecate stone and think that it's a battery. She probably thinks it's some type of eldritch fetish or something,
Sure.
Right. So you could possibly characterize them out a bit more and give each like a distinct personality, kind of like the 5 stones that go into the Infinity Gauntlet. Like each of them has a certain effect. Now, I'm not saying that you have to give each of these a certain effect, but if you differentiate them a bit, like kryptonite, we got the red kryptonite and the green, and it has these different effects. And each one corresponds to what Jezidru would say, oh, well, that stems from this kind of energy, or that kind of magic. Like they become more interesting as opposed to right now, which is completely fungible batteries.
Or, this is a cool idea.
They are essentially batteries that power the mech suits.
Right.
And they power the shields around the airships because one of the things about blimps being full of hydrogen is that it's very, very flammable.
Yes.
And the British were really, really, really good at shooting them down.
Yes.
Which is why the Nazis stopped using them.
Yes.
But if they have magical force fields that repel batteries or repel bullets, as is shown in Spirit of the Dragon that they do, then they can continue using them. So that is, it is used in that regard, and so they are essentially used as batteries to power the super weapons that are giving the Nazis the advantage in the war. So the Allies are trying to get their own source of this energy so that they can make weapons to counter them.
I understand.
And
I got that.
Part of what I'm doing with the Technico plot is that she is going to introduce like plasma guns.
Yes.
Which is not metal, so but they need to be powered by something, so they're also going to be powered by the stones. So in a very, very soon future issue, maybe 4, they will start having some new weapons, which is why they need to have some of the plot coupons left.
I got all of that. I'm just saying they could have more of a personality in and of themselves. They don't have to, but they could.
But if they all do the same functional thing, I'm not sure how making them different.
Well, another thing you could do is make them obviously matter to our heroes. So when we go into the army spy headquarters, be like, have the Q character be like, oh, here's my awesome pocket folding car, but I don't have a power source for it that isn't massively unwieldy, so it's bloody useless. And then they get a stone, and suddenly they make the gadget work.
I mean, I'm saying
it provides value immediately.
If, for instance, these were soul shards or something, and like each one was infused with like a spiritual memory of someone who was now died, and you could consume the spiritual energy as it kind of like gradually eats up the soul kind of thing. Well, each of these soul shards, if you pick one up, it would put you in touch with some dead spirit of someone who would have wants and needs and desires, and now they would all be kind of individuals and have different ambitions, despite the fact they are still a fuel source that they probably a status they probably don't like, but nevertheless, like it provides something more interesting.
Ooh, what if they're the souls of alien intelligences? Or giant thinking dinosaurs?
Right. Or like using them, like exposes you to like some kind of mental weirding that you start to freak out or whatnot. Like there are ways to make them a bit more interesting and sinister, which I think is appropriate since Jezidro is using them in for black magic powering rituals,
Yeah, like for all we know, the witches used up their last one, and now they can't make any more witches. That's a good reason for Jezidro to show up and be an asshole and steal shit.
I'm saying, look, if we look at the Lord of the Rings series, if all the rings were fungible and basically did the same damn thing, they're less interesting. But, if it's the one ring, which was forged to rule over all the other rings, then that one turns you invisible. But the rings of power are given to the elves, and the ring, each one is still a bit different, and those made the ring race. And, it's a chance for you to build the lore of the world and to make your world more unique and less generic, and making them batteries makes them more generic.
I'm kind of cool with the battery thing, but
yeah. All right. Anyway.
Say what, Danny?
Yeah. I'm cool with the battery thing, but like Preston's, that is a good option if that's the direction you want to go. It depends on how mystical you want the project to be in the end.
Right.
It's science fantasy.
Well, I'm just saying, if you wanted to give it more of a horror component, and it's not like you don't play at that sometimes, particularly with what Jezidro's got going on and the shadow and all that.
This one I'm leaning more into the comedy than the horror aspect.
Okay, all right.
Harpies is supposed to be more of an action comedy, just off the wall, balls to the walls, crazy.
Okay, well, then you could make the Hecate stones a bit more comical, since it's a comedy. But anyway, that's those are just my thoughts. I think that's, unless you got anything else, Danny. Those are all the scripts we had.
I'm good. Like, this is a fine ending to an issue. It's okay because it's like not issue 1.
Yeah.
Like, it'll do, but you also don't want to write yourself into a corner where your big deal magical power source is shockingly common from the get-go.
Yeah.
Because that's going to cause innumerable other problems later on.
Yeah, I'll have to So
you should write your plot and then write your story after. It feels like you're at the point where like that might be a good idea.
Well, I mean, I will admit that when I first wrote issue, and we look at some things in issue 1. So in issue 1, the Nazis had a crap ton of plot coupons. They had a plot coupon in every blimp. They had a plot coupon in every Messerschmitt. They had a plot coupon everywhere because they all had shields on everything. So the idea that I think you guys have presented well. And again, there was supposed to be a giant, like house-sized boulder of untapped Hecate stone in the Hollow Earth, which is originally the plot was they were going to go to the Hollow Earth and basically steal it from the Nazis. And it's this basically giant thing the size of a house. And that's what the Nazis were using to power their entire arsenal. But again, giant, having that much of it, like you guys seem to say, seems to be hurting the story. So that's why I'm kind of like in the process of saying, okay, maybe they don't have a giant house-sized rock that,
they can fight over who gets to own a house-sized rock.
True.
Like, I mean, I think I think your assessment here is right, because I mean, the way you were discussing the Hecate stone in Spirit of the Dragon, and the way like you're making them so important to the plot the characters have to follow, like they need to be kind of rare. They don't even have to be very powerful, right? Like in your current existence, a level 1 D&D spell would still do great work for you, right? So like,
I mean, that's basically what Jezero did to hide it. She opened a portable hole.
My point is, it doesn't have to be like, the most like, mind-blowing thing ever. It can just be very, very good at something that's actually really hard to do right now.
Which was basically a power source.
I mean, yeah. Like, portable battery regeneration is still pretty useful in the 1940s, I would imagine. Because it means all of a sudden you don't need a lot of gasoline. It's really good for supply lines. Like, you could make that story. But the premise of having such a specialized team to do everything sort of requires them to be, like, fairly rare. So, like, I feel like it's worth looking into.
All right.
Okay. No, I don't mind making them rare. It's that I might just have to make a few changes in like issue 1. That's all. And because in issue 2 is why the whole reason why they went to Egypt was because they found out that there was one in Egypt. So that's why they were going to Egypt.
Yeah, and then they befriended a robot cat who suddenly needs another one. So, leading into the rarity.
The last one that the robot cat girl has is powering her robot cat body. So she has one in her chest.
So she's going to heroically sacrifice herself in the end?
That is an idea that I'm considering, yes. Depending on if I end up needing it for that. But right now she has
you're the writer, you can make it necessary.
Well, so she has one in her chest. Eventually I want Erin, because she's the only one of these characters that doesn't have powers, is supposed to build a mech suit of her own, which needs to be powered by one. So that's part of the reason why I don't want that there's several plot coupons, is because Erin needs at least one to come up with, or unless she's developing the suit and needs to get the one back from Jezidro. But you know, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with the future episodes. I'm just trying to nail down what I want to do. I want to at least figure out what I want to do with issues 1, 2, and 3 before I commit to issue 1 going to production.
Probably a good idea.
So
there you go, writers. Sometimes you gotta walk into a series actually knowing what you want to do first.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to next week, and hopefully we'll have more pages. Yep.
I might have something, because I threw something together, and I might present it. We'll see if we got something else to discuss.
Oh,
I'm pretty likely to have something if anything works like properly for me this weekend. We'll see.
All right, cool.
All right. Take care, everyone.
I don't want to be the only one bringing pages.
Wow.
I mean, I will, but I don't want to be.
Exactly. You're out for, hey, you're
single-handedly.
You're so far the rock star.
Alive.
There you go. You're so far the rock star. You know, I noticed you're anyway, yes. Good job, John. Hopefully we'll see everyone next week. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.